Hi, Dean Rinker, Keller Williams Realty here, and today we're going to talk about 3 common mistakes that home sellers make when pricing their homes for sale. So let's start with the most obvious one, pricing too high. You know, I've sold plenty of homes in my lifetime as a realtor and prior to a realtor, becoming a realtor, and I think that most of us, if not all, want to get the highest price possible for a home. I get it, realtors get it, we all want the highest price for our home. But if we price too high based on the market statistics and maybe what your realtor recommends, if you price too high, you're not going to get the buyers to come in, you're not going to get agents to suggest your house for sale, and you're actually going to help other people sell their homes. And this is the most important factor, and people don't get this, and I think it's so critical to understand. Think about it. Let's say there are 3 homes in a neighborhood, and all are similarly appointed and similar in age, maybe all have common features and amenities, and let's say the only real difference is price. Well, think about this. When a buyer looks at homes, they're not just going to look at one home or the seller's home or your home or mine. They're not just going to look at ours. They're going to look at the other homes on the market. And when it comes down to similar amenities and features in a home and just everything about a home, it then comes down to price. And let's say the other homes are priced around $350 and you're priced at $375. Well, yes, you want to get more money maybe because you've done some great updates and some other things that maybe were important to you but may not be important to a buyer. And so a buyer is going to come into your house and validate their decision to buy that house. Because that's what we do. We look at, when we're trying to make a decision, we look for factors that help validate what we're thinking of doing. And an overpriced home can help sell the other homes in the area. Think about that. So let's reverse it. What if we priced well? In other words, where the market says, because the market speaks very loudly. Understand when it comes to pricing, it doesn't matter what I think your home is worth as a realtor. It doesn't matter what you think a home is worth because you live there. It doesn't matter what Uncle Henry says. It doesn't matter what the neighbors say. It doesn't matter what you want or need for the property. The property's value is based on what other similar homes in the area have been selling for. Because keep in mind, even if you price it too high and you get an offer, what if it doesn't appraise? Then the deal could fall apart. Because remember, the appraiser has the final say. So let's get into that. Pricing too high. We don't want to price too high. We want to price it at the market. And there's nothing wrong with testing the high end because, as you know, in real estate, there's no hard and fast rule. You can't say a home is worth X. Even an experienced realtor, I've been doing this 20 years, I can't say a home is worth X because every home is different, every buyer is different, every situation is different. All I can say, and all a good realtor can say is, look, homes similar to yours in this area have been selling between here and here. And there's nothing wrong with testing that high end of the range. Maybe there's something that, will push it above. Test that. There's nothing wrong with that, but not very long, maybe a week, maybe a little longer depending on the activity. So price it right. So the first mistake that sellers make is pricing too high. The second one is waiting too long to adjust a price when a home's not selling. So the National Association of Realtors says that when a home's on the market, and this is on average, and we're talking maybe a bread and butter type home priced anywhere from, let's say, 300 to 500, somewhere in there in this market, 300,000 to 500,000. On average, NAR, the National Association of Realtors says, if a home has been on the market 10 days, or it's received 10 showings, whichever comes first, and you haven't sold it, it's overpriced. Because keep in mind, when I put a house on the market, I've got it blasted all over the world, all over the internet. Anybody, anywhere can see a home for sale. Agents are looking, buyers have automatic searches that will notify them of new homes coming on the market. So once a home is listed, it's going to be out there, it's going to be exposed. The marketing I do as a realtor is amazing. We get the exposure out there. But if it doesn't sell, it's overpriced. And the longer a seller waits to lower that price, the less they will ultimately get for it. I have seen time and time again where a seller wants a higher price than I think is appropriate for the market. And again, I'm just interpreting the market. It's high based on the market. A week or 2 or 3 goes by, nothing's happening, or maybe we're getting some showings and no listings. And as a realtor, I would make a recommendation for a price adjustment, which much less than 3 weeks. And it all depends on the property and the market. Keep that in mind. But a seller that waits too long, what happens is that listing ends up becoming, as we call it, a stale listing. And think about it. If you're looking for a home and you see it's been on the market for 30, 60, 90 days, what do you think? Well, what's wrong? Or seller must be unreasonable and they won't come down on price. So we just never know what people are thinking, but that is a common thought process when a house has been on the market a while. So waiting too long to make a price adjustment can be very, very costly. And lastly, and this goes along with pricing too high, and that's pricing based on what you need or want. What do I mean by that? Well, I've had sellers over the years tell me, well, I need to get X because we need to get all the equity out of our property so we can go buy another home. Well, sometimes X is way higher than it should be. That price that somebody needs or wants for their next home really has no basis in what the property is worth. And here's what I say too, think about it. If you were to find a property you love and it was priced $50,000 above list price, and the agent, that seller's agent says, well, it is priced too high, $50,000 or $25,000 or whatever, above what it should be, but they need that money to go buy their next house. You as a buyer, me as a buyer, I would say, well, I don't care what the seller needs or wants, the property is worth X. So it's important to understand that going in. Talk to an experienced realtor who understands the market, who can show you what's going on in the market, and price it to the market. There's only one thing that values a home. It's what a willing buyer and a willing seller are agreeing to buy a home. That's the market. And understand we have to listen to the market. It's not my opinion what a home is worth or anybody else's opinion. It's looking at the market stats and say, based on that home's going to sell anywhere between here, and let's figure out together where we need to price it based on the current competition, based on the current market, time of year, and that kind of thing. So remember, pricing too high, don't do it. Waiting too long to adjust the price if it's priced too high, don't do it. Don't wait too long. And then don't price your home based on what you want or need or what you think it's worth or what Zillow even says it's worth, because the online sites, they get lucky once in a while, but most of the time, a home will sell differently than what it says it's worth on those online sites. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, email, phone, text. I'm happy to help. We'll talk to you later.